My fellow gamers, it has happened. The implosion of gaming is now a mind trick. How? Microtransactions, full price beta games, mindless gameplay loops, and hype. These are a mind trick we fall for consistently. In my opinion, not all these are bad. The industry has been helped with these such transactions, while us as a consumer continue to suffer. I will start this video off with microtransactions and how and why they could be bad and or good. Some of them are good, most are bad, like Apex Legends and EA's properties overall. And it's not because they are a terrible practice, but it's all because every publisher is looking for that same thing everyone else wants. Residual income. I'm going to say this a lot, because that's why microtransactions have become the new standard. Mobile games give this concept, and it's only proven to just grow and grow and grow. To now it's reached our consoles and our PCs because of that residual income money. And with this and the help of, well, fanboys and the infamous white whale, it's given the industry, well, a run for its money. And this is where the industry is starting to crumble. It is hurting us as the consumer. It doesn't matter how much we have our wallets closed to this very greedy idea. As long as we have people who don't care and people who have the money to just kind of spend the $2, $4, $6, $8 or $1,000 on a game in pretty much over months or a year, what's gonna stop them from doing it again and again and again? Well, we can't tell people how to spend their money, and that is the problem with capitalism, and with AAA capitalism at that. Is the more we fight our way against the publisher, they just sort of incite new ways to have us pay for things that were free in the beginning when we started gaming for us 90s kids. But for now, for our kids and their kids' kids, I fear the worst. To close this very tidbit out, we have to always be mindful of our purchase. And we have to not shy away from microtransactions, but if we want to improve gaming, we have to do one or two things. Close our wallet or not buy the game. Because that's the only way they will find out that us, as a consumer, are powerful. This is a topic that seems annoying, and it is the price of games when they're not even finished. Division 2, Anthem, and before then, the very pinnacle, the start of this all, was No Man's Sky. And I'm not saying all these practices are bad if done correctly. No Man's Sky has been trying to make up for their lost promises because they're trying to give an experience. You have no idea how many developers have kind of promised to do the game, but also just ran away. DayZ is one of them. No, H1Z1 was one, and then I think it was Space Engineers, they're another, that you paid for the game, but there was no guarantee. There was no guarantee that it was going to be finished. And that's what I mean by a full price beta game. Sometimes you pay for something and it may not even be complete. Some of these aspects of a of like this anti-consumerism has stemmed from the tide of games just being bigger, and they become a roadmap, as you say, as we all say, the infamous roadmap. Now we know the game's gonna get good because they have a roadmap, everybody. But that is not what games used to be about. Games used to be, it was complete or not complete. Nowadays, now a game could be trash and then continue to be trash until eventually it gets better a year or two from now. We can't have that type of games anymore. No, not anymore. This type of thing is just no bueno. We can't have these things anymore. And it's just how our industry has grown and continue to grow in this anti-consumer nature. And we can only change this with an influx of telling the developers, warning the developers, and not feeding into a game's life cycle. If we want these things to change, we can't spend time on the game that we so enjoy to prove a point. So, what's my overall understanding of it? As long as it's done well, it can be a success. But if it's done terribly, well, we can expect a lot more anthems in the future. And thus I'll go on to my next topic for discussion. And that topic shall be loops and hype. Well, what I mean by loops is some games have this cycle, and every game has to have this cycle, this 30-second loop of enjoyment. For me, some of these loops for people have been Warframe, some of these loops have been Deep Rock Galactic, some of these loops have been Monster Hunter World, some of these loops are Division 2, and the loops go on and on and on. But what if you have a game that has a gameplay loop and it's completely 100% meaningless? Anthem, where the grind is just not appealing and not fun for people. We can't have these type of meaningless gameplay loops showing itself between now and then. I keep thinking in the then, but games start from somewhere, and it's all about the gameplay hook. And the gameplay hook is always the same, whether it be go here, go there, slay this enemy, do that enemy, you know. But the one thing is, some games master this very well, and a game that kind of didn't do this very well but actually have grown to kind of do this has been State of Decay 2. A perfect example where the game has a certain loop, and sometimes the loop is the same, but they add variation to it, which makes it interesting. Some games like Monster Hunter World where the loop remains the same, but I don't know. For me, in Monster Hunter World, the loop has been the monsters. They feel different every time I fight them. You know? And that's just how some of these games tend to be. Where they have a specific loop and they try to get you there. So, let's head on to the next area of business, which is hype. Games as a service, games that do this like to do hype trains. Glorious trailers, interesting layouts, and such like that. We can't really have this type of thing anymore. It's us as the consumer that essentially do this to ourselves. We hype up a game so much because we want to believe in its success that it's just not plausible once we put our hopes too much into this. And that's one thing too. I'm feeding into Monster Hunter World's hype myself. I'm falling for Iceborne pretty hard. I'm hoping for the best of it. But that is the cycle. Having that idea of hoping a game will be good. Why should I hope for a game to be good? I want the game to be good. And that's why pre-orders have been running rampant. Because games have changed. And sometimes not always for the better. And it's up to us as the consumer to change this aspect, to change why or how these companies do this. You know? And that is how us as a community have to come together, and we have to fight these type of hype trains. We have to keep people grounded. I feel bad for the people who hyped up Anthem so much and they're just willing to stay in the delusion that it's a good game. It's just, that's not right. That's not right. And we need to change that. And we can change it together, my brothers and sisters of gaming. We can change that. And with that, I'll end the video on a good note. Gaming is my hobby. I love this game a lot. I love gaming a lot. And I want everyone to love gaming as much as I love gaming. And I just want to see it change for the better, not for the worse. So, to put it bluntly, like and subscribe to the video. Share it if you have to. We have to get this voice out here and hope for the better and not for the worse. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to more future content on the Manga Stoker 92 channel. And as always, I'll see you next time on the hunt.
おやおや、使い外れだな。